What's going on, everybody? It's Afro Think Tank. I like honest white people. Just keep it 100. I've met plenty of white people who say, yeah, I grew up racist. My mom was racist. I was raised racist. I don't want to be racist. I'm still racist. I'm trying not to be racist. I'm working on it. I appreciate them guys because that's just keeping it 100. I don't expect somebody who is indoctrinated in racism to just, when you telling me racist, oh, okay, I'm not racist no more. Let me fix that shit. No, it takes work. And there's some white folks out here doing the work. I call them humanist because they come back to the human family once they realize, oh shit, you know what? I've been thinking the wrong way and it's not my fault. Because it's not your fault. It's really not none of these white people's fault. Like the ones that's alive now, because they were trained. You talking about generations of being trained and taught to be this way. You know what I'm saying? But once you know that it's bullshit and then you actively decide not to change, that's when you become a part of the problem, and you stop being a victim and you become a problem, right? Because now you know you're wrong, but you say, I'm gonna just be wrong because I prefer to be wrong because it's easier for me to be wrong, or I benefit from being wrong, right? Instead of just saying, you know what, let me do the work. Let me deconstruct this shit. Let me have some humility. Let me let my ego go, and let me learn to be a human being again, right? And let me process this shit and get it out my system so I can join the human family. I like those white people. You can talk to them white people. Right? And we need more white people like that to go in their communities and teach their folks a little something. All right. Anyway, watch this white lady. She's gonna talk about how she's been deconstructing herself. And you can see when they deconstruct themselves and they get that shit out, they're liberated. And white folks, y'all need to liberate yourselves because you guys are slaves to your mind. You're slaves to racism. You are slaves to the propaganda that's been baked in your head from your own communities. Anyway, tell what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Be separate, and everything in my society taught me that white people were better than black people. It was taught everywhere, and that's how I grew up. Now, that racist hard shell began to crack for me a little bit when I got in high school and started reading some books. You don't have to move somewhere, you just need to read, people. Read.
They put it in a book.
I started reading.
That's right.
And began to make some friends, began to crack a little bit. But I'm here to tell you, though it's taken a lifetime of recovery. It didn't come all at once. I'm still recovering. It's deep-seated in there, folks.
My Lord.
Now, we don't have that old Jim Crow stuff anymore, but we sure have the new Jim Crow in our criminal justice system.
That's right.
And our children are still being brought up in a society that has pervasive systemic racism.
That's right.
Some say we shouldn't shame white folks about their past, but this isn't just about the past.
This is present.
And if you are white and you're not somewhat ashamed, something's wrong with you.
I know that's right.
Now, I know that shame is not somewhere we want to live, but we should work through it. Work through it. Consider doing something better. And there are ways we can do this, and we can do it with love.
Yes.
But you can't just come to a rally or read a book and be all woke and anti-racist. No. One activist says that racism is not like a cavity in the tooth that you can just go to a dentist and have him drill out and fill it. It's not like that. No, racism is more like gingivitis, like gum disease. And if you don't brush and floss your teeth every day, it comes back up. It'll come right on back up. And that's what's happening. And our white folks need to work on this. I see some white folks out there, we need to work on this. Our black and brown sisters don't need to always have to carry this load. We do need to listen to their leadership, but we need to be willing to put our money and put our actions to work every day. Every day to make a difference. You know, you say, I see t-shirts, you say, I want to run with Maud. Well, as somebody said about Maud, but he didn't run just 1 or 2 days a week, he ran every day to stay in shape. And we have to train ourselves. If you want to be a part of this work, we need to know that running with Maud, as somebody said, is not a sprint. I can tell you myself, I'm 69 years old, it's a lifetime marathon. A lifetime marathon. Now, you do have to pace yourself, and you may need to take a break. We know that because you get awfully tired out, and I know some of you are. But the reason you take that break is so you can get back in there. And like brushing your teeth and flossing, we need to make sure that Working for justice is a daily habit. It needs to be a daily habit.
They want our people dead. They want us killed.
I want to read you guys a quote by Ruby Hamid in her book, White Tears, Brown Scars, How White Feminism Betrays Women of Color. And Ruby is a Syrian Lebanese journalist. It is crucial to understand what we are talking about when we talk about white tears. The kind of distress we are analyzing may well feel genuine, but it is neither legitimate nor innocent. Rather than denoting weakness, it signals power. Though white fragility is triggered by discomfort and anxiety, it is born of superiority and entitlement. White fragility is not weakness. It is a powerful means of white racial control and the protection of white advantage. And to quote Robin DiAngelo in her book White Fragility, when a certain group is in control, they therefore have the ability to control the narrative and decide when something is discriminatory or not, and who is being affected.
Can we talk about how miserable white people are for a second? Like, you know that white people are miserable, right? Like, have you ever looked a white person in the eye, even if they're like a big mental health person? You just look deep down and you're like, brother, you are not happy at all. And truly, it breaks my heart. But one reason, I think, one of the main reasons that a lot of white people, a lot of us are really unhappy and miserable is because we lack internal congruence. Now, congruence is a concept we learned early in grad school to help people heal. And congruence is basically internal alignment. Values and actions are on the same page, right? Like, we accept every part of ourselves. We feel peace, security in who we are, congruence. And no matter how hard you try, you can never find internal congruence if you're not congruent with the world around you. If you're not understanding what's real and seeing reality and affirming what's true. So like white people who deny patriarchy and capitalism's negative effect and oppression of the world and genocide that's happening around the world, like that's incongruent with reality. That is going to have an effect on us internally. Because to deny what's happening in real time, we have to deny certain parts of us, certain emotions, certain thoughts that come up. And the more we run for that, the more incongruent and separate we feel, the more dissonance that comes, the more miserable we are. And a lot of times we're not actually dealing with our own pain and our own reality because we're all suffering under capitalism and white supremacy. Like, it affects us different ways in intersectionality, but like it affects us white people too. You don't think a stormtrooper in the fucking Star Wars movies hates his life? You don't think he hates being bossed around all the time? You don't think poor white people living in the Empire, like in a city walls, like in a Game of Thrones, like you don't think that they're miserable under it, even though they're not miserable the most? To be congruent inside, to not be miserable anymore, it takes accepting the realities of the world, seeing how those toxic systems affect us, and then moving to actually be congruent. Because deep down, humanity has goodness at its center. So yeah, white people, we're miserable because we're not congruent, because we're denying the realities of the world, and thus denying ourselves.
I'm seeing a lot of white women tears on here, and I just think a lot of very fragile egos are getting poked. And because we're seeing a very harsh reality of where we do stand when it comes to white men ruling this country. We are no more than property. We are no more than vessels for white babies. So we need to take ourselves down a step, realize that we are not the pinnacle of beauty. We are not the pinnacle of grace. We need to see the sisterhood and common humanity in the women around us. We are not on a pedestal. We need to take a step down and look at each other eye to eye. Because Black women start movements in their sleep. They deserve a respect.
White people get so upset when they learn that not being a bad person isn't the same thing as being a good person.
I finally understand what white people be going through, y'all. You know how when we be cracking on them and shit? And there are white people that, Like, I mean, I understand the woke white people because they have to hear us crack on them, call white people unseasoned potatoes, male sapiens, all of that. And the ones that are woke take it in stride, right? They even add to the jokes, which is absolutely amazing. But the reason why I'm saying I understand white folks now is because the rest of the world is roasting the shit out of America right now. The memes, they eating us up. And as an American that does not agree with the fascist regime that is the orange buffoon Donald Trump, I still gotta take my lumps because I'm a fucking American and I'm mad. I'm pissed off about it because it's not fucking fair. I ain't want this shit. But anyway, yeah, white folks, I understand your pain right now. We still gonna crack on you though, but I understand your pain.
Wait. Before you go, for all my subscribers and philanthropists out there, I'm building a solar power community water bowl system in Nigeria. It's going to cost between $5,000 and $6,000. I'm trying to raise money. If you want to participate and help me build this solar power water system, please donate to the Cash App and put solar water in the notes. Solar water in the notes. I'll put PayPal, Stripe, and Zelle. Anyway, thank you. That's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out. Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.